Well, I was minding my own business on this beautiful spring day, and I really wasn't, because you know how I am. So as I span over here, look what arrived. So my friend Glenn, who's right here, is laughing because I couldn't help myself. Glenn, how did you know that I was going to buy it, Glenn?
Well,
In your heart, did you know? Here.
you had your mind set on a little bit. And the giraffe is so long. He needs some.
He
needs
see.
He needs a little partner. by
Right, he
him.
was alone. So Glenn said that the giraffe was alone. So in terms of my love of animals, Glenn brought me the zebra, and he has a bad leg. So like, when you don't have friends in real life, wait, Glenn, hold on. When you don't have friends in real life because everybody hates you, you buy a zebra because look, he can't get away. So he can't get away from me. So he's injured and he can't get away. So when you don't have friends, you just buy one that can't get away from you. So Glenn, you know what I loved about these when I saw them in the store was, I had said to you, I really thought that they were store displays. And guess what? We both found out that they were store displays, because there was no way that such large and oversized STEIFF animals were ever going to go in someone's home. And now they are. So, but I love the bezel set eyes. They're glass, they're original. And in my mind, for what I paid for this luxurious animal, even with the need of repair and restoration, there's a patch on the back. There needs to be heavy restoration on the leg, and there's a small panel on the face that was put in. I'm going to in-paint that with brown paint, and as an artist and being trained at the university, I really think that I can restore this quite well. And then I told my mom that told me not to do this. I'm sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom. It's all Glenn's fault. So I think I might put boots on him for a while, like tall boots. I thought, well, I could easily just patch him up, and I think we're going to move him into the house now. I'll do a little bit more of a take with Glenn. So let's grab him, Glenn. Right. And then here, well, I'll help you.
I got it.
Don't do the whole thing yourself.
No,
Are you sure? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see how big it is, though. Oh, that's quite large. Look. Oh, Glenn, he's awesome. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, see those collet set or bezel set glass eyes. The ears, I'm surprised the ears are in as good condition. The patch, I think, is on this side. Yep. So what I wanted to do is continue this kind of gradual gradation of these colors onto the patch so it's more blended in. And then on the leg, like I said, I do have old mohair that I've done restorations on antique teddy bears. So that is not going to be that much of an issue because it is very solid. I may go over that instead of taking it all apart, having all the silcia or straw fall out. I will wrap that with mohair. I am going to have a friend who is a seamstress, like kind of whip stitch it back into place. And then I'm really going to have to oxidize that area because I would say, Glenn, do you think these are like 50s, 60s, would you say? Do you think it's more 60s maybe? 50s? Yeah, my heart was 50s. I think they still made them into the 60s. But what I would do is I have to oxidize that for over, 40 or 50 years. And that's going to take a little bit of work and a little bit of effort. But like Glenn said, I couldn't.
I had this 40 years ago and got it back.
Yeah, tell us the story.
I had this 40 years ago at Memphis Drive-In. I sold it and went through 2 families and I got it back. What's the chance of that?
Right. And I'll tell you what, here's the thing about it. I've often said that antiques and collectibles have history behind them. And Glenn told me the story. Did you sold it at the drive-in?
I sold it at the drive-in.
You did, at the drive-in.
40 years ago.
40 years ago.
And I got it back.
Right. That's it. It's like a boomerang. It's like a boomerang with a bad leg. So you know what? I'm so excited. The sun is out. Did you notice that what just happened, Glenn? I was telling you a little bit about what was going on in my life, and then all of a sudden, the sun comes out. It solves the problem.
Right.
If you have an issue, go sit by yourself, sit on the back porch, take in the fresh air and the sunshine, So, all right, we're going to move him in the house.
All right.
Here we go. Here he comes. So Glenn wanted to do it on his own. I said, Glenn, I'll help. And he's like, nope, I got it. Here we go. Glenn, what do you think?
It's here. It's here.
Look, they're back together. And you know what, Glenn? I think in my mind, I think he's actually much happier now. Look at his face. Let's zoom in.
Man.
I think, you know what, Glenn? It was meant to be. It was destiny. It really was. It was destiny. It was meant to happen. Oh, I should sell that now. Glenn, those are those opalescent prisms. Mm-hmm. Oh, I could sell this one too. Let's go over there. So, and everyone's going to ask, have you had this one?
Yes.
Everyone's going to ask, where are we? And I'm going to say, the second house, aka the warehouse, aka the office, the fun house. Oh, I love this deco one. Have you ever had her? No. She's the top of a calendar. And look at her with her little Aztec charger or dish. Yeah, that's the way I felt the other day. This one is the way I felt the other day. That one right there. All furrowed brow and sad and, oh, woe is me. No. Oh, Glenn, this is an awesome thing. Oh, and yes. I know. Look how cool that is.
Oh, yes.
I know. So I love that. That was a gift from one of my YouTube viewers. So that's a keep forever. And then guess what? Hold on. I'm going to scoot over here. I'm going to go back on this. And I'm going to say how much I absolutely love him. And that's definitely a boy, Giraffe. There's no way. That's definitely a boy. Absolutely. And Glenn, again, you totally made my day. I'll say that again. So thank you so much for cluttering my second house. I really appreciate it. So Jeremy's going to be really happy with you, Glenn. Did you see his face the other day when he knew what was up? Oh, he was beside himself. I think the only reason why I do some of this stuff, Glenn, is really to get Jeremy going. So anyways, absolutely love it. Oh, and then thank you so much. And look, I told you, I pulled this out. I'm going to show everyone this. I don't know why I'm screaming, but I pulled this out to show Glenn. Look, I have the old STEIFF catalog from way back in the day. And STEIFF has always been, I would say, the finest of mohair animals and mohair bears. And look at the different sizes that they featured. But again, there is no major zebra, and there is a very small giraffe in here. Look at the little baby zebra. I think, Glenn, you might be right. I might have to start to get the little ones too. Yes. So why not, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is just too much fun. But I showed Glenn this, and we.
It needs to be an owl. You need to get an owl too.
I do need an owl. Yes. So I showed Glenn the spider. I've never seen the spider in real life. I have seen the groundhog. So yeah, I'll go through this later on. I think I might do a little quick tour of the second house. Glenn, I'll walk you out, and I really appreciate you dropping off again. Please come over and give me a high five real quick. High five. You are the best. You are absolutely the best. Thank you so much. And I'll walk you out. I'll pause the video now. Well, welcome back, everyone. So Glenn just left, and I'm still totally crazy over my awesome zebra, and he gave me such a great deal on it. I had to. A lot of you had asked the last time, please show us some of your antique dolls, some of your early Staffordshire dogs. I have collected these for a very long time, and this awesome cabinet that they're in, if I could zoom out a little bit, let's see if I can zoom out today. It's really fighting with me, but this awesome kind of like glass cabinet on top of a stand. Let me roll this chair out of the way. And everyone knows that I just did the large antique show, so I was packed up, and there's stuff underneath here for the shows, and I had done a lot of work on the house with engineered flooring. This house has been a constant kind of money pit because it's from, I think it's like 1908. Anyways, I get so distracted by things, but these are my Staffordshire dogs. There are cut crystal bowls in here. Those were like $1 at the flea market. I have acquired these over so many years. These came in, the back pair, the largest, came in from Cowan's Auctions in Cincinnati. I am very good friends with Wes Cowan. He's an awesome man. He's brilliant. He's intelligent. I had let's just say some items in Cowan's Auctions through the years. The American Scene catalog, if any of you are familiar with the American Scene catalog, that's where I would have some of my decorative arts and some of my jewelry. These are a favorite pair. I just loved their expression in their eyes. These are almost always mated pairs when you find them. Love the Staffordshire Dog Bank. Those are getting increasingly hard to find. The butterfly in the plexi box, those those were a gift. That was a gift as well from Rick, my dear friend Rick. That is an Eckholt. And since I am moving, he gave me that as a housewarming gift, and he gave it to me, what, a year early? So, yeah, Rick is a great, great friend and a great supporter of my business as well. So shout out to Rick and his lovely mother. And I'm still working on her pendant, by the way, because people have asked, how's the process going making June's peridot pendant? It's going really well. Those dogs are fantastic in the back. And I've often said that dogs are definitely man and women's best friend. There's no denying that. And cats are fabulous. So I did not leave out Staffordshire cats in the collection either. Look at their cute little faces. And even when I found a single, I would still drag them home. But there's the Staffordshire dogs. Those have glass inset eyes in that pair. If we zoom in there, and if I step back from the cabinet, you can care. Let me move this big zebra. I never thought, whoever thought I would say, let me move my zebra out of the way, but you can see that glass cabinet. Let's go out a little bit more. You can see that glass cabinet. And on stand, it was from Chicago. It has the plate on the front of it. And then, of course, I come over here to my Maitland Smith and where my octopus was. And thank you again. I hope I'm allowed to say your name, Charlene. Thank you so much for that fabulous octopus that I have to get back over there. So thank you, Charlene. And that's the Maitland Smith cabinet, because a lot of you had made a comment on the Maitland Smith cabinet. Years ago, these Maitland Smiths would go for around $5,000 to $6,000, and now they're the same or higher. And this is all completely hand painted, made to look like tortoiseshell. And there's a little peek inside my personal life, and hopefully there's nothing terrible in this drawer. No, just some CDs and paper. But these are always marked Maitland Smith, and they're beautifully hand painted, made to look like tortoise. I'll show you a couple more pieces throughout the house. Give me one moment. One of my favorite paintings, because see how I planned the art to go on the flocked wallpaper. And yes, this is the original wallpaper to the house. That's that flocked wallpaper. I was gonna take it down, but so much of it was peeling and curling away from the wall, because I'm not about, shall I say, wallpaper? And so I was gonna take it all down, but I decided to keep it. Yeah, it's kind of, dated and yellow, but I loved it with this painting. So I kind of said, once I got this painting, this is a Cleveland orchestra conductor known as Lewis Lane, I believe was his name. And here he's like adjusting like maybe a small reed for an instrument. This is artisan signed, but look at the sensitivity of those hands. Hands in painting are some of the most challenging of all things to paint on the human form. And I know that from experience with life drawing, many semesters of life drawing in school, but look at the tonality and the light and shadow of that face. Such a handsome fellow with that kind of very dapper outfit and very sophisticated, yet you could talk with him. You know that you could be friends with him. You know that he was brilliant and he was great at what he did. This is a testament and like a living memory of this gentleman who was so loved in Cleveland. I believe that's who it is. At least that's what a person who is very familiar with Cleveland School art and also the Cleveland Orchestra said that is him for sure. I did not know that, but I did buy this at a Cleveland auction because I absolutely fell in love with it. An oil on canvas, and I'll let you take that moment in. And for those that ask me if I collect store displays, I do. Does anyone else have a Plexi Chanel? No, probably not, but I do. Thank you, my friends, who you know who you are. And on this little area, I've often talked about my early artwork. We're not going to talk about the fish on the mantle or the banker's light. We're not really going to talk about the bust here. We're most certainly not going to talk about another Ellie Smith, Bittersweet. But what we are going to talk about is sorting buttons and being transparent in how I classify and sort. That whole container is filled with vintage and antique buttons. And now I cannot get back to it because there's like a lot of stuff in front of it. But what I will do is I will zoom in on this. This I made in college, and it was part of my thesis. That's a shark mouth bra, and I completely hand fabricated the chain system there. And so when people say, you really shouldn't do certain things, or you shouldn't say certain things, or you shouldn't make certain things, I did what I wanted to do, and I always will, and I always have. That's my story, that's my life. These were plastic. And I found them in a Goodwill junk bin back in the day, and they were 25 cents for each little plastic shark mouth. And then I made the hooks and the chain through the copper, because the little where they connect to the mouth, I put hooks. And there's the large hooks there holding it together. So that's one of the bras that I had made back in the day. Was it meant to be worn like, a normal bra? No, it was an artist statement. So there you go. That was one of my pieces. And let's just scan over here for truth and transparency. This is a very early cabinet that was basically slated for the trash. It does have its original wavy glass. And it's about 1830. May have started its life in Pennsylvania, but just some of the decorative arts here that I take to shows. A cameo glass vase, Bavaria china from 1900, an Ericsson, or it might be Viking. I haven't touched it in forever. Controlled bubble, apple paperweight, art glass with that zigzag chevron. The cat vase is very interesting. I used to know the artist on that, but it's like a cat head with jewels and then hand thrown. The Deco Lady's a reproduction of a Shapirus. Of course, billiard balls and Bakelite were always a thing that I would deal in. And see how that was called Vitalite? Well, actually, those are actually Bakelite, but it was the brand name called Vitalite. Murano glass, a beautiful sterling picture frame, Weller matte green, a great early Chinese bronze sensor. Beautiful art glass vase that's sold that I'm waiting for the person to pick it up. The basically cloisonné or champlevé carriage clock, chinoiserie style. Definitely not Chinese, but chinoiserie style, likely Swiss movement. Maybe the case was made in France. 1860, 1870, awesome. New mechanism in the back though. Murano glass, another piece of art glass, and a bronze back here that's very interesting. Very limited number. I don't remember the artist on that either. Haven't been back there for a while. Bavaria, a pin cushion, of course the Hummels, but those were on a consignment. I said I'd take those two only because they were unusual. Well, not unusual, but different than the rest. They didn't expect much money. I said, okay, I'll take them. The perfume bottles in the back are beautiful. Piece of rookwood pottery, but more contemporary. The Italian dog, I think you've seen it before. The owl back there is pretty cool. And then a couple other pieces. Perfume bottles, something packed up, not exactly sure. Then there's a whole nother shelf down here. Of smalls, there's a sterling bowl, some art glass, spatterware. I always go after more Bakelite replacement billiard balls. When you find those for 50 cents and they're Bakelite, buy them. And then over on the other side, there's a great deal of other stuff down here. And again, this is the office. So of course I have loads and loads and loads of books. If you want to talk about books on different materials, different time periods. I've always pushed myself into different areas that I didn't know. Coins, kitchen collectibles, oriental rugs, Miller's antiques, general price guides, and then the things that I did know a lot about, Bakelite. And I have literally, I think there's probably 16 books on Bakelite. Over here, I was sorting buttons and fabrics and trying to get my life together with buttons. And then down here, these are those early half-round demi-lune, completely translucent marble with the fixtures that were light fixtures. They were out of an old movie theater, vintage movie theater from the 80s. And I said, oh, I like the flush mounts. I like those, and that the stone lights up, I'm in. And then for everyone who says I've had questionable fashion, let me show you. Oh, I need to get these cobwebs down, but look at these shoes. These are my platform shoes that I used to wear to the bar. Dun, 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 right? So these are my alien skin platform shoes, and you can see I had some rough nights. So there were several times that I wasn't on my feet by the end of the night. Hold on, I'm gonna go upstairs. And people often say to me, how do you stay so organized? So down here, these are my totes for local shows. They're currently empty because I'm redoing my stock for the shows. So you often say to yourself, So get this, you're a YouTube content creator, you have sales on Bully Run, you do local shows, you sell on eBay, you make your own art, you appraise and advise for now 2 different auction companies, and you sleep when? And I would say, I don't, but I pack totes when I'm almost sound asleep. So light fixtures, wonderful plexi, let's go in on that. We're not really gonna do light fixtures, but wonderful plexi. These are encased, and those are fantastic for the late 1950s, early 1960s. Tons of decorative arts, and that's kind of the gist of what I deal in. So you get a very big cross section: bronzes, decorative arts, the Stalking Panther lamp, art glass, crystal, this kind of tramp art, seashell art, an early doll china, the cut crystal bowl. I believe that is, I draw a blank on who that is. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. You turn the camera on and I black out. Some gifts that were given to me. The bittersweet is a tiny one, the early Indian pot, Viking glass, Fenton glass, and I wanted to show you the cabinet, so I'll zoom out and show you. Sorry about the lighting, but I don't have another light on right now, but that cabinet is by Lane, and it was designed by Paul McCobb. So that is a mid-century modern kind of open china or etagere with the storage underneath, and that's by Paul McCobb for Lane. When I bought that years ago at an estate sale in Fairlawn, Ohio, I bought so many great pieces out of Fairlawn. That was, I think, $600. Now I'm not sure exactly what it goes for, but it's probably triple that. But extremely well made, and I love the drawers. And the drawers are filled with supplies, price tags, stickers, markers, pens. I'm, ready. And I'm carding buttons down here. These are some of the Legos that I had from when I was a kid, and a couple of my Hot Wheels that I had when I was a child as well. So I'll pause you and I'll try and sneak upstairs. And instead, I didn't go upstairs. I wanted to show you more of the Viking and Ellie Smith that I've collected that is for sale. And so another mannequin that I used to use for eBay photography because she had a tight waist and great posture or gesture with a wonderful kind of grace to her. Take the arms off and the hands because it was very easy to then get an outfit on it. And Glenn saw this one from behind, and look how many layers this is. It's the 3-layer. It's absolutely fantastic, and it was like the perfect thing for the house. I am working on drapery and repainting the walls still, so I'm working on that. That's in process of, but I love the old windows in this house. Anyway, so this is more of decorative arts that I'll be taking to shows, and I just wanted to show you that as well. And on my way up the stairs, I had to show this is from St. Bernard's Church in downtown Akron, and I started going back to church. And I was there, and Michelle, the lady that was there, she said, "Hey, I have this print I would really like you to have." And I absolutely love this angel. And I'm going to be doing I hope to be doing some work with this church in the near future. There are some restorations that need to be done, and I would really like to assist if I possibly can. So I'm going to be in talks with them. But this is, if you ever get to downtown Akron in Ohio, please go to St. Bernard's Church. You will not believe the beauty. This church is one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of places in my life and a lot of museums. And this is a living and breathing museum of the turn of the last century. So if you get a chance, I highly recommend go to St. Bernard's Church because it is absolutely the most beautiful place. It's absolutely stunning. Does anyone need an approximately let's see here, about 5-foot tall bronze Meiji period vase with the most beautiful cranes and the most beautiful dragon handles? And look at the finish of that. So that was an auction win, and it is absolutely exceptional. It's graceful, it's powerful, and the depth of that bronze finish, wow, is all I can say. And going up the stairs, we got confronted with the graceful, flowing Curtis Jerry sculpture of metal leaves. I had in my collection 16 Curtis Jerry wall sculptures, and at the height of the market, I decided to sell all of them except for this one. And I was so glad that I did because supply and demand. When I sold mine, the demand was high and the supply was low. So I sold at the top of the market. But this is the one that I decided to keep because I loved its flow. Back in the day, I paid $20 for this, and it's signed. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I can't do anything really quick in my life. Let's see. No, oh, here we go. Here, let's go up here. Oh, I almost fell down the stairs. There it is signed right there. Curtis Jerry. So C. Jerry. And that's 1979. 1979. And I've often really loved these as I zoom out and show you that. Doesn't look good on a gray paneled wall, but that's the only place big enough that I could put this. Look at my old-timey thermostat at the house too. Oh, there's a painting over here too I want to show you. And as always in my life, I seemingly surrounded myself with artists because they are problem-solving people. A lot of times we're overly emotional. A lot of times we don't find the right words. And this was a testament to, I had a day where I just couldn't settle. And my artist neighbor friend, Jack, who did paintings, and he sold them for a tremendous amount of money, he so graciously gave me this. And I will never forget it because Jack is no longer in this area. And what I would say is, in school, we were, as artists, trained to be critical of other works. And it was something called a critique. And I had 6 years of critiques. So as an artist, sometimes I do critique. And I do kind of, I've been used to being critiqued. So I guess I say that as I look at a work like this, it brings me back to my days at college when that's what I was trained to do. So I was trained to be a critical mind, but create beauty, but then be able to talk with other people about maybe improving their work or doing something different, being an analytical, but being graceful about it. So although I don't like to critique today, I think it's innately in my nature sometimes. So I look at this and I say, there's nothing I would change about this painting. Absolutely nothing. I think it's graceful. It's timeless. It's impressionistic, yet realistic. The reflection in the water. I'm so glad that he gave me this painting. And I could never afford to have bought this from him, but he was truly a master at what he did, and I needed to show you that one as well. It means so much to me being given a gift like this. I love this painting very, very much. Very familiar to me. Reminds me of quite a few times in my life when I just took time away, and we all deserve that. So take some time away is all I can say. So as I was racing up to level 2, and you can see that I've taken stuff down for the move and consolidation and leaving one place and going to another. This is a David Ulrich. And David, I helped his family with an estate situation in Ohio, in Northeast Ohio. And he was an amazing black and white photographer who extensively worked in black and white. This photograph, as soon as I saw it in the house, I said to him, who did this? And he said, I did. And within seconds, we forged this really fast friendship of me not only helping his family, but also me then consuming quite a few of his works. This just, I'm at a loss for words today. I'm going to struggle to kind of say what this means or tell you how I feel, but I'll let you take it in. Art sometimes isn't meant to be explained, just like artists don't have to explain themselves. I think that's why we have this for our language, because we struggle for human words. So there's David's signature. It was done in 1973. And for David Ulrich's work, this is what he was known for. And this is from 1973, which is the year before I was born. So this is 52 years ago. And what a forward thinker. And before I go too far upstairs, I think I'm going to go back down and show you his other work really quick on the second, the main floor. And I just want you to take that in and see what I see and feel what I feel. And maybe you don't, maybe you feel the exact opposite, but isn't that the beauty of art? And isn't that the beauty of not critiquing people or people's lives? So absolutely exceptional. I love that work. It's just perfect. And I'm going to end on this one because I was going to go upstairs and now I've come back down and need to clean my stuccoed walls. You know, when you get a texture on the walls, they always look dirty no matter what you do. Anyways, this is not for sale, so I'll take that off because we know that's not for sale. We know that's going with me. And this one is also signed by David, and that's 1973. I didn't expect to do a tour of some of the art that I've collected. Today, this is an unexpected kind of revelation with what I've done with my collections. If you've enjoyed the video, if you would just let me know, or just let me know your feelings on my channel or your feelings on what I've been able to accomplish so far. And hopefully I continue to move in a really positive and good direction because that is what I'm so hopeful to do. But I wanted you to see this. And on the other wall, there are dioramas from Mexico on this other wall on the other side. But I want you to see this. So the magic of this is, do you know what this is? So a lot of people stare at this when they come over to my house and they say, I don't know what I'm looking at. And I said, well, in Ohio, at our ski resorts where I used to ski, they will make snow. So these are snowmaking machines. And David propped up his camera and trudged out there in the cold and did a time lapse of the snowmaking machines. And so turning science and something man-made into something abstract and natural and beautiful. Look at the white, gray, and black balance of the way he developed this incredible photograph. So I leave you with that, and I think that might be my thumbnail. I think I just decided I was going to do the thumbnail of the zebra and say I've completely lost my mind and adopted another zoo animal, but let that be a reminder of everyday beauty that sometimes we don't notice, but if you just take a second, it's always around us. I love you because I do.